Revenge is a dish best served cold, and you know why that is? Because when it's hot, it can burn you. Just ask Jade Janks. She's a popular California interior designer. Everything's going her way until the day she sees something so shocking. She goes from mild-mannered decorator to cold-blooded killer. Let's recap. Hey, thanks for watching True Crime Recaps. I'm Amy. This is the only channel bringing you all the crime in half the time, so you can get the story faster than you can get through the drive-thru line at Starbucks. Or is that only our location? It would mean the world to us if you'd give this a like and remember to subscribe so you never miss a recap. Now, on with the story. 64-year-old Tom Merriman is still in his pajama bottoms and a red t-shirt. He just got out of the hospital. He should be in bed. Instead, he's under a pile of trash in his driveway, dead from an Ambien overdose. Now let's stay here, but rewind 8 days. It's December 23rd, 2020 in Solana Beach, California. Tom is laying on his driveway again, but this time his 39-year-old stepdaughter, Jade Janks, is there to help. She lives right next door. The two of them were getting the house ready for the holidays when he fell. Cleaning things up, piling trash in the driveway. But his hospital stay won't be a quick in and out. He's going to be there for at least a week, maybe more. Now, it's far from ideal, but he's got Jade to take care of things like she always does. She was 12 when Tom married her mom. Now, in the 13 years that they were together, there were a lot of ups and downs, even reports of domestic abuse. By 2008, Mom was out of there. Tom ran his own nursery business, for plants, not kids. In 2013, he co-founded Butterfly Farms, a popular local nonprofit for butterfly conservation and research. And even though he wasn't married to her mom anymore, he kept up with his stepdaughter. She was in her mid-20s by that time, living on her own and busy building her interior design career. But Tom was still dad to her. In 2020, she moved into the house next door and became his de facto caretaker. So when she found herself cleaning his house while he recovered in the hospital, well, that was just par for the course, just another day at Dad's. Except it wasn't. She's straightening up his home office when she accidentally bumps his computer mouse and wakes up his screen. Now, at first, she can't understand what she's looking at. His screensaver is a close-up of a woman's breasts, and not just anyone's. Those are her breasts. I gotta tell you, I am not totally sure I could pick my own breasts out of a lineup. I mean, maybe, but Jade has a very unique beauty mark on her chest, so she knows her breasts are her stepfather's screensaver. His screensaver. It gets worse. So she digs into his files only to find more than 100 naked pictures of herself. All she can think of is the time years and years ago when she had a boyfriend take those consensually. Now, Tom must have pulled them off her old camera or laptop. He's got photos going back to when she was a teenager, and they're organized according to body parts. Some of them are even cropped and enlarged. That was the moment she lost all sense of right and wrong. There was only rage. And over the next few days, she sent a series of texts that went from, okay, to, oh no, girl. At first, she was trying to convince this guy, Alan, a friend who had some expertise in private security, to help her confront Tom about the pictures, like make him delete them. But she couldn't leave it there. It's festering. She thinks about him looking at those photos, arranging them in folders, enlarging them. Worse. So what is going to happen when she tells him that she knows? What will he do to keep his secret? She starts keeping a knife close by. Oh, now it's Thursday, December 31st, New Year's Eve. A week after he went in, Tom is getting out of the hospital. It is hard to say how you would react in any given situation until you're in it. Me, I wouldn't pick that man up if he was paying me $1 billion to do it. He would be gone, dead to me. Dead to me, not dead. Dead to me. But Jade, she goes to get him. And this is where the story goes a couple of different directions depending on who you ask. But first, let me read you a few texts that the prosecutor was especially interested in. I just dosed the hell out of him. He's waking up. I really don't want to be the one to do this. I can't carry him alone, and I can't keep a kicking body in my trunk. I'm about to club him on the head as he's waking up. I'm not strong enough. He's very aware now and I'm on my own. The way Jade tells it, she picked up Tom, ran a few errands before taking him home. And while she was shopping, he was in the SUV popping pain pills that the hospital gave him. According to her, he was a big fan of his whiskey and his pills. So when he started slurring his words as they made their way home, she wasn't all that alarmed. But when she couldn't get him into the house, she left him in the SUV with a blanket and pillows so he could sleep it off like he had more than a few times before. But when she came out the next day, he was dead. That's her version. The police have a different one. Receipts showed, among other things, that she bought a red rope, black plastic gloves, and a package of white dish towels on her way home from the hospital. The rope and the towels were found in her car. The towels had been knotted together to form a chain, and she had a couple of visitors. Her friend, that private security guy, he didn't come over after all, but he sent a guy he worked with. That man later said that she had asked him to strangle Tom. Now, his job description did not include murder, and he didn't stay long. The next guy to show up had a slightly different story to tell. He testified that Jade asked him for help moving Tom's body into his house so it would look like he OD'd in bed because she'd already killed him by this time, he says. According to his testimony, she said, "I suffocated him with a bag and choked him after giving him a bunch of drugs." That friend couldn't get out of there fast enough. The next morning, he went to the police. Left on her own, Jade spent New Year's Eve hauling her stepfather's body out of her SUV, where she left him in his driveway under the trash. And then she went inside, poured whiskey over his computer, and took the hard drive. After the police listened to her friend's story, they went looking for Tom. They walked right past that pile of trash, but they didn't think a thing of it because it was January 1st, just after the holidays, and a lot of people had boxes and trash waiting for pickup. But when they couldn't find Tom in the house, they arrested Jade. So the next morning, they go back to the house, and that is when they finally find him under the boxes. Almost 2 years after she spotted those pictures on his computer, a jury found her guilty of first-degree murder. And now, instead of talking to a pricey therapist about it, she's going to be discussing the ins and outs of revenge gone wrong with her cellmate. So what about you? If you found something that horrifying on your father or stepfather's computer, what would you do?
And that's your recap.
Thanks for hanging out with us today.
If you like getting all the crime in half the time, go ahead and tap that subscribe button and the bell so you never miss a story.
We're here Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays, but don't go away. Catch up on more recaps right here, right now.
Until next time, take care.